Hey viewers, welcome to Veil Astrology once again. First of all, I must tell you that this is not a video on Jupiter transiting Sagittarius sign. You have to wait a little more for that, and because it will be an elaborate one where I will be sharing with you the meaning of that transit, that is Jupiter getting into Sagittarius, the dates which are good or tough dates, the major conjunctions, retrogression, and there will be, I think, few videos attached to Jupiter's transit into Sagittarius one by one. And of course, I will be sharing the forecast also on that. What exactly is it going to bring us all in the near future? So stay tuned. So this video is basically to clarify certain things about this transit, which is happening in the sign of Sagittarius from the 5th of November. For the next 3 months, that is from the November till the January, and this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter as per the Vedic texts. I'm going to tell you about that. So please do stay tuned till the end of this video, because I'll be sharing some the main myth which is attached to this transit, the double transit that we are talking about. So please do stay tuned, and I will be sharing a little bit about the ascendants, how they are going to be impacted, not in an elaborate manner, but surely I will be sharing some forecast about it. So before we go on further, if you're a new viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and do hit the bell icon so that you can be notified as soon as I upload a video. I do upload videos from time to time based on weekly transits, monthly transits, and the outer planet transits, the inner planet transits, and some tutorials also. And in the initial part, I do give some brief summary about it is a short tutorial, so you must hear the initial part before the forecast. So please do subscribe, and in case you like this video, towards the end of this video, you can also press the like button, the thumbs up button, so that, and you can share my video with your friends and family also. And thank you so much to the subscribers who have already subscribed in, and my viewers who are diehard viewers. They don't miss my videos. Thank you so much for your love and affection. So now I will not waste your time. Let me tell you about Saturn and Jupiter, that are the two major planets which are joining each other for they are joining after, say, 60 years in this sign. We all know that Saturn and Jupiter, they join in any sign after 19 to 20 years, but in the same sign they join only after 60 years. The Saturn and Jupiter are joining in the sign of Sagittarius after the year 1960-61. Excuse me. And in 1999, 2000, 2001, they were together in Aries and Taurus. Okay, and they will be joining in Virgo after 20 years. Say around 2039 or so, they'll be joining again. It's a triplicities, there is a cycle of Saturn and Jupiter's conjunction. So it is going to be joining in Virgo next. Okay. And this conjunction is about very important aspect, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th lords getting co-joined in the natural zodiac. So, that is, which is why this is a very important conjunction. Major, significant, radical changes are going to take place on mundane level as well as on individual level. So with this conjunction, so you have to see where your, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces sign is. So you have to make a note of those. So which houses, so that is where your life is going to get impacted during these 3 months. So that's something, because Saturn and Jupiter joined in, as you know, when Jupiter went into the sign of Sagittarius for a while this year, and went to Mula Nakshatra and then went back in retrogression back to Scorpio and Jeshta. So that was also a very important time, when it joined Saturn, though I made a video already on the same, where Saturn and Ketu are supposed to be in the other room and they are in the same house owned by Jupiter and all that. I've said a story, made a story out of it. So it's simplifying it that, Jupiter just went and touched and went away, so it was just for a time being, I would say. It was not a major stay for, so the impact was not that much. Nobody felt it. Now Saturn here will become benefic. Okay, its significations will enhance as Jupiter impacts in a positive manner. You know that. So the maleficence of Saturn is curtailed. Thus, the ones who are involved in some kind of illegal or evil means or unfair means of earning, or who are indulging in wrong means of life, I must warn you people that you'll be suppressed, or you will get negatively involved or impacted. So maybe, you are you're earning through corrupt some unfair means, illegal means. So you should be extra cautious with this transit of Saturn and Jupiter together in Sagittarius, because you know that this combination is happening in the sign of Sagittarius. Saturn is the heart taskmaster, the karma karak. Saturn is the planet of discipline, duty, limitations, and boundaries. You know that. So your sufferings are due to your past karmas and are tracked by this Saturn, the record keeper, as we know. And on the other hand, what is Jupiter? Jupiter is morality, law, religion. Thus, anyone who wishes to do wrong suffers during this time even more. Now that the rulers of 9, 10, 11, 12 signs are getting conjunct, thus the impact would be felt related to these signs. So look into your personal charts. If you are doing any unfair activities related to these signs, that is, as I said, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, then the results would be felt related to these houses even more. Negative, positive, depending upon your personal chart. But one more thing is that this transit isn't considered that good because of the conjunction is happening in the Rahu-Ketu axis. And in the initial few days, Saturn and Mars are going to be mutually aspecting. And of course, Mars will be afflicting this Jupiter also by its aspect, fourth aspect, along with the dispositioner lord of Rahu, that is Mercury, that will be retrograde during that time. So if Rahu is in retrogression as it is, and Mercury, the dispositioner lord, where Gemini's lord, is also in retrogression, so you can imagine the communication is going to be impacted heavily. Trade, marketing, businesses, stocks, share market, they're all going to get impacted negatively during those initial days, especially when Jupiter enters Sagittarius. So the beneficence of Jupiter this time will be suffering, because Rahu and Ketu eclipse even the luminaries, the sun and the moon. So I think Jupiter is a small fry in front of sun and moon, right? In front of Rahu also. So whenever there is a mutual aspect of Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu, then the beneficence of Jupiter suffers. That's a fact, be it your natal chart or be it in the transit. So the significations of Jupiter will suffer, not of Rahu. Rahu will not lose any potency to give negative results if it is supposed to give negative results in your horoscope, in your personal chart. So the potency to give that good results of Jupiter, that is under affliction. So the potency is lessened. And not only that, the sign and the sign lord both are getting impacted here. Why? Because Sagittarius is owned by Jupiter, and Saturn and Ketu are already afflicting this sign, and Jupiter is also the sign lord who's suffering here, is getting impacted by the malefic planets here in Sagittarius. So the lord as well as the sign lord, both are getting afflicted, the sign and the sign lord, sorry. I want to quote something here. I remember, our teacher, my guru, Shri KN RAO SIR, he once wrote in a journal that the dramatic changes do not happen immediately after the conjunction or opposition of Jupiter and Saturn. It's only when Mars joins and aspects them, some dramatic, violent, and historical events take place and are remembered as the landmarks, historical landmarks. They can be heavy loss of human life, all over the world. And with Rahu also right in opposition, you can imagine what is going to happen. This is not that I'm making this video to scare you all, but I don't want to be doing sugarcoating coated talks and just give you a wrong image about the transits. You have to see your natal chart also. On the mundane level, actually, we have read in our text, and we have seen these combinations in the previous past years, that earthquakes have happened, mass killing or mass mishaps have happened. So with these kind of conjunctions where Mars, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, everything is in, every malefic is involved, we cannot expect good results. And Mercury, being a positive planet, is also in retrogression, so we cannot expect very good results during these 3 months especially. Well, yeah, that's different when Saturn leaves in January, this sign, things will be much better, much better, because the malefic influence will be reduced by half. So especially the Sagittarius people, and Gemini people, they have to be extra cautious in the relationship and stuff, which I will be sharing with you a little bit about it, because you have to see your placement of the planets in your natal chart also, your dasha. Okay, now coming to the main thing that I'm making this video for, to make you all aware of, that is the double transit. What is this phenomena? See, first of all, please make sure that the double transit isn't applicable in the case of conjunction. Sorry. The house they are getting conjunct, this double transit doesn't work. It happens only when Saturn and Jupiter aspect any which house at the same time. So here what is happening? Saturn and Jupiter are conjunct in Sagittarius, looking at Gemini sign. So where is your Gemini sign in the natal chart? See, is it your 3rd house? Is it your 5th house? Or is it your 10th house? So events related to that particular house will be impacted with this double transit of Saturn and Jupiter. Okay, so it could be any house, any sign, and not just by conjunction only. Suppose, I'll give you an example. Suppose Saturn is transiting the 1st house, okay, and Jupiter is transiting the 4th house. Now, what are they doing? They both are aspecting the 10th houses simultaneously at the same time. So this would bring major changes related to your job, to your profession. Similarly, if Jupiter is transiting your Lagna, suppose your 1st house, and Saturn is transiting your 11th house, so where they are looking at, they both are looking at simultaneously at the 5th house. So thus the prospects for progeny or new romantic association or some relationship, that is something which is going to culminate. The event is going to happen, provided you have a promise, provided you have the dasha. So double transit's role comes into play to culminate into a major event, only if you have the promise in your chart, only if you have the conducive dasha in your chart. So that is how it's not that Saturn and Jupiter have now joined in a particular sign, then only it is going to be there. Double transit is happening. No, it's not that way, please. I am behaving like a strict teacher, I think, right now. But seriously, this is just to, it pricks me when things are not conveyed in a proper manner. People take it, otherwise, people take it as a hard and fast rule. It's not mentioned anywhere in the Vedic text that way, that the conjunction, where conjunction is happening, that's a double transit. No, double transit is whenever Jupiter and Saturn look at a particular house together by any which aspect, but to that particular zone they are looking at, that the house, that is the double transit. Okay, so here Saturn and Jupiter are looking at the 7th house, that is the Gemini sign in your personal chart. Now you have to see those house significations that would be actually enhancing, or the double transit is applicable to culminate into the event. Suppose for Scorpio ascendant, 8th house is getting activated. Now there is another rule which I want to clarify here. 8th house is getting activated, so there's gain of wealth. or gain of finances. Finances that you are unaware of, or you are not even expecting those gains. Maybe some windfall gains. You see, people have categorized 8th house as ancestral property, or if 8th house is activated, you will get ancestral property or ancestral wealth. It's not that. Second house is the house of kutum, family, ancestors. That is the house where you will get the accumulated wealth from. Your father's wealth house is the 10th house. So you will get wealth from the 10th house of your father's wealth, if you talk about father's wealth, because it is the second from the 9th house. So you have to see the 8th house for windfall gains, whether you are, you are having that promise of getting that windfall or not. So suppose in case you see someone meets with an accident or some kind of mishap where the compensation is given by the government, say 5 lakh rupees we'll give to the families. Now that this accident has happened, so you get a huge amount, right? So your family, that is the second, that is the 8th house. So your family members are getting that. So that is the windfall gain. That is the windfall gain for that particular horoscope. Okay. Though 8th house is mishaps also. So that is why you got the income, because you went through some kind of mishap and you got the windfall. Okay. So that is how you have to see, and rather than falling prey to the, internet, where this is just, spread that, the 8th house is the house of inheritance and stuff. No, it's not. Okay. Now, I'll take quickly the signs one by one, but please do listen to this commentary, because I give in my best. I try to give in my best to ensure that I impart whatever knowledge I can through these, initial summaries. So it'll be really, a respect that you'll be giving me that way. Thank you so much for listening to this. Now, coming to Aries. Now for Aries, you have to see your 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th houses are going to get activated with this, and the 3rd house. So you have to take care of your journeys. Maybe there is some change coming in your profession. There can be something related to your job change or travels. You have to be extra cautious that you do not take a hasty decision right now. You are prone to taking hasty decision. Okay. There can be that, you are putting in a lot of effort and there is a lot of frustration. You are not getting the results. So you have not to give up. Please do not give up. Okay. Just wait for another 3 months after November. So things will be improving for you. Okay. Being the Lord of the 9th and the 12th, Jupiter is going to gain strength. Okay. So it is going to give strength to Saturn also, so which is your karma karak, which is your house of profession, house of your friends, your siblings, elder siblings, your charitable institutions you're joined, or your investments. Okay, your investments also will improve post January. Okay, but before do that, you have to be little extra careful with whatever you do, whatever you take up with these areas of life. Okay, travels especially. Just make sure, and your father's health. Take care of your father's health. Coming to Taurus. So for Taurus, you have 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th houses getting activated, and right across is your 2nd house. So what is happening? You might have some issues with your mouth. Okay, mouth area. You can have issues in your mouth area. You can have something to do with, maybe you will have some windfall gain during this transit of 3 months. That can also happen. Some mishap, some disease, yet you will have some inflow of money also happening. Okay, so see, this is Jupiter and Saturn combination I'm wearing. Okay, I had to mention this. Anyway, so then you have to see if you are heading to a job change. You are heading to a job change for sure, but just give it some time, because it will be a temporary assignment. Then you will be losing out on you will have to again do the process of changing the job and stuff, or maybe you will change the job, you will take some time to settle down there. It will be a little troublesome phase for you initially. Travels can be little troublesome, cumbersome, so be careful with that. Otherwise, it is going to improve January 2020 onwards. Okay, coming to Gemini. For Gemini, you have to take care of your own health, actually, because your health is the main thing. You are prone to gaining weight. Okay, so watch out whatever you eat. Then you have some kind of health issues you are heading to, so be careful. With Saturn also going to be transiting your 8th house, you be careful about your health. Take care of your father's health, take care of your profession. There is a professional growth coming your way, but it is going to be only after January. So just keep up the hard work and things will be in your favor. Okay, but you have to take care of yourself. You're behaving very selfishly, so just do not confine yourself. Don't close yourself to in that cocoon, you know, just come out of it. Do for others, do something for others also. For Cancer people, your travels are going to be really very tough, so be careful. You have some extra physical desires, so they'll be getting fulfilled. So that is something which is good for you. And if you are in a relationship, your relationship will be culminating into a stable relationship. That will happen post January. But before that, you have to be extra careful with your professional growth, with your people around you, the house help, the employees, or the co-workers you're with. You have to be a little extra careful. If you have taken some loans, etc., it will be a little difficult for you to pay them off. If you are into a litigation, there will be a postponement or delay in getting the result. Okay, so just wait for Saturn to go out of that zone. Things will start falling in place post January. Do not give up. And there is a major change coming in your life after January. I'll be making a separate video, so stay tuned. But yes, your travels are going to be little difficult, and overseas income is on the cards. So in case you have somebody, if you have something like that, so you are heading to a better phase. For Leo ascendants, this is happening in your 11th house. The double transit is happening in your 11th house. So what is happening? Something to do with investments. You're thinking about major investments, so you can do that, but it is going to be little as if you're parking your funds somewhere. You're expecting big huge amounts, but it will be a delayed process. But this is the time you can do so. This will be a favorable period for you because Rahu is also connected with this, so it is a good time. And of course, with your co-workers, good time to get into a good relationship, form a chemistry. Maybe there will be some improvement there, and there can be improvement at your with your spouse. If you have any frictions as of now, they will be resolved, because it is happening this being the lords of the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, they are joining in the 5th house and looking at your 11th house. So there are chances of some windfall, some lottery, something to do with stocks and shares, something positive coming your way there. Okay, but be careful about your health. There can be some health issues, so you have to be extra careful. And some major new changes will be coming post January related to your job, to your professional growth, so don't worry about it. Now coming to Virgo. So for Virgo, this is happening in your 4th house zone. So 4th house is your family, and it is looking at the 10th house. So your 10th house is having the impact of the double transit. So there things are going to happen now. See, there is something, because the Karma Karak is looking at that house along with the benefic planet Jupiter. So there is some enhancement, elevation coming your way when this double transit happens. So it is a better transit for you, but things will improve only after January. Completely they'll be fine, like towards better only after January. So that is something that you have to work through, and it is a good time for your if you're planning a family or something, progeny that is on cards, then your job is going to get better with the maybe co-workers. You will have some good cordiality maintained, and then with your spouse also, with your family people also, things will start improving with Jupiter there, and being the 7th lord also, it is going to improve the relationships. Okay, now coming to Libra. So for Libra, this is happening in your ninth house. The double transit is happening in your ninth house. So you can have some travels which will be for higher education, for higher learning, or maybe you are going for work and you are going to get success there. Okay, so but you have to plan them well, you know, the travels well, so that you don't regret later, okay, why this happened. With, you know, Mars also looking at Saturn and Saturn also looking at Mars, Mars looking at Jupiter. So you have to be little extra careful, because Mars is not a favorable planet for this rising sign, and it will be there for a few days. So you have to plan your travels, your, you know, relationship with your spouse. You have to be extra careful there. It's a very sensitive phase for you actually. So because in the third house, two malefics and one benefic, it's considered good. It is a better transit, because in 3, 6, 10, 11, as I always say, malefics do better. Okay, so for you, it is a good phase for travels. It's a good phase for earning wealth. It's a good phase for children, for students. I feel that overall, it's a good transit. You have to be extra careful. That's all. If you're making major decisions. Scorpio people, it's a very good transit for you. It's a, why? Because, you know, I consider 8th house, you know, when Saturn and Jupiter are looking at 8th house, the double transit. So you are, you know, unexpected wealth. That is something with Rahu also there. You will get some unexpected wealth, some unexpected gains. Okay, so you are heading to maybe some, sorry to say, but some death in the family, and you get a big chunk of amount of money. Maybe you're wanting that money and it comes when you are not expecting that kind of money and you get it. Okay, so that is something which you're heading to. And with the you know, the houses which are obviously the lordships is also not bad, with the 4th lord and the 5th lord, 3rd lord, and the 2nd lord getting joined. So the wealth prospects, wealth is increasing, family cordiality is maintained, children, progeny, everything is coming to a to shape. Actually, it is going to be a better transit for you. With Mercury in retrogression initially, you have to be little extra careful with investments, and while travels, you know, you have to be extra careful with the documentation and all. If you are thinking to sign a deal or something, be extra cautious. Okay, then for Sagittarius, yes, Sagittarius people, you have to wait a little extra, because this transit is not giving you that kind of strength as it should have, because Jupiter is being afflicted by 2 malefic, 3 malefic, 4 malefics in fact, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, and and of course Rahu, Mercury in retrogression. So there are all the planets which are giving you, especially the November and December month, not that good. Okay, so for post January, things will start moving. So do not give up. It's just a few more months time, you know, I would say that things will start moving in and shaping up. If at all you have affliction in your natal chart also, only then this works even more. Otherwise, it's not that bad, I would say, because Jupiter is Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter is a benefic planet, so I don't think so it will be with your spouse, with your relationship, with your you know, with your self grooming, with your speech. You have to be little extra careful. Okay, just take care of yourself. And coming to Capricorn, so for Capricorn, this is happening in the double transit is happening in your 6th house. Now 6th house is the house of Roga Rena Ripu, that is the diseases, enemies, and deaths. So you have the chance to pay off your debts, to get cured. So this is a very good transit when, you know, Rahu is in the 6th house as it is. So you have to change the doctor. Maybe you are seeing, maybe there is a new doctor you have to go to. During this time, it will be a good thing to do. Do not do yoga. Yoga is a big no-no for you. You can have some kind of, you know, injury because of doing yoga. Avoid. And eat proper. Go in for a strict regime, dietary regime, so that, you know, you don't gain weight. You have that tendency to gain weight right now. So be careful. Your travels can give you some issues, so plan your travels well. Maybe for work you're going and you leave your documents or something at home, and then, you know, you forget them or something, you know, you've not signed them properly or something, you know, which is not right. So you have to be a little extra careful, especially in the November month. Okay, otherwise it seems okay. Your job is good, nothing to worry. Okay, coming to Aquarius. So for Aquarius, this transit happens, the double transit happens in your Fifth house, so progeny. There can be a surgery, or maybe with out of surgery you will have a child. Okay. Or you know, your children are having some foreign education on the cards, so they are going, or they have already gone there. So that is something which, you know, is going to happen. And with the 11th house zone also getting activated, I would say that if you have to plan your investments, be careful. You can do so only after Saturn leaves this zone. You can do it in post January, you know, if you want to invest, heavy investments if you have to make. So be careful about that. And otherwise it's a good transit for you. You will be maybe changing your personality, your persona. You will be doing something about it. Maybe you will be doing something with your hair or your feet, especially, you know, and with your you know, with your relatives, with your friends, you'll be spending more time, you know, during this transit. So that's a good transit for you. Then coming to the last sign, that is Pisces. So Pisces is Pisces Lord is coming in the Kendra, of course, in the quadrant. So there is a lot of configuration in your quadrants, you know, because mostly the planets are in 4 and 10th houses. So you will have something to do with renovating your house. Your 4th house is being aspected by this double transit. So the maybe your mother is has not been keeping too well, and now she's going to recover. Okay, post November she'll be better off. Then if at all you have something to do with you know, so in case you have something to do with your house renovation, or, you know, taking your mother to a pilgrimage, or something that you have to, maybe you have to, you know, buy a new property or a new vehicle. So you can do that when the Saturn and Jupiter are looking at the 4th house. So get connected with your own people, get connected with your childhood friends during this time. It's a very good transit because, you know, you're mentally drained out, so you want to unwind. So this is the time you can do so. And with when Mars is also looking at this, you know, all these signs, you know, you have to be extra careful with your speech. You know, you can have issues, your speech can get rougher, and you can have difficulties with your relations. You know, you can have some issues with your relatives. So you have to be really careful with all these, you know, what I've mentioned. Good for children, good for progeny, good time for you know, investments. You can wait for some time. I think investments would be good. Okay, so I think I covered everyone. So thank you so much. I hope you like this video. Just give a thumbs up. Thank you. Stay blessed, everyone. That's it.